Versace Eros is definitely Versace's most profitable fragrance line. And today we're going to be putting Eros and Eros Flame in a head-to-head battle to see which one is best. I'm going to try to get through this quickly, so let's get into it. Versace Eros is a mint, apple, and vanilla fragrance, while Versace Eros Flame is a citrus, vanilla spice, and sandalwood fragrance. They do have some similarities, but they are different. The crisp apple and mint in Eros gives it freshness that is mass appealing, but the citrus and vanilla in Eros Flame makes it a much smoother fragrance. It's not as fresh, but it does not smell as synthetic as the original. As Eros dries down, it picks up more of the playful vanilla, making it sweeter, and it retains its mass appeal, but sadly not on my skin. As Flame dries down, you pick up more of the spices and the sandalwood. It becomes slightly less sweet and a tad bit more complex, and it is definitely the most unique one out of the entire Eros line. And actually, it's probably my favorite smell in the entire house of Versace. So, based on the smell, which one are you choosing? But hold on, before you pick, let's move on to the performance. When it comes to performance, Eros Flame does have some decent longevity, about 6 to 8 hours, which is not bad, but Eros has about a solid 8 hours, so it does fare slightly better in the longevity department. When it comes to projection, Eros also projects a little bit stronger as well. Now, the projection on Eros Flame isn't bad, but it does become a skin scent quicker than Eros does, so the performance category is going to have to go to Eros. When it comes to the price, of course, guys, the price on these fragrances are roughly the same regardless of which one you get. Unless you're getting the Parfum edition of the Eros, they're all going to be about the same price. So price for them is a tie. As of right now, or at least in my opinion, these fragrances are about equal. So let's move on to the next category, versatility. Eros and its sweetness makes it a great 3-season fragrance to wear throughout the year, that being spring, fall, and winter. It can be mildly annoying in the heat because it can overproject, so that's like the only thing you might have to worry about. Eros can also be worn in pretty much any situation. If you adjust your sprays accordingly, that means being less or more depending on whatever situation you're in, it can be worn for most situations. But I do think the situation that it will excel in, I would say, is for anything where there's going to be a lot of people, such as a party or anything like that. And personally, if this was me, I wouldn't wear it in the office setting, although I do think it can be worn in such. Eros Flame is similar to Eros, as it is technically a 3-season fragrance, being the same. You might be able to pull it off in the heat because I've done it. I've just worn this fragrance year round. So you could genuinely just throw away the whole season's idea because it just limits to you to what fragrances you can actually wear. But it definitely is something you can wear in any situation. It is not overly sweet. It's not overly fresh. This fragrance is a perfect middle ground in my opinion, so it's great for any situation. The ideal perfect situation for Eros Flame, I would say, is the fall weather. So whether you're in fall weather or if you're in an AC cool climate, 80 degrees and below, I believe this fragrance works perfectly. Doesn't matter what situation you're in, this one is great. The balance of freshness and sweetness in Eros Flame, I think, helps it out a lot, so I'm going to give it the slight edge in the versatility category, and we're going to move right on to our final category, compliment factor. I've got to say this. As of this year, I have not received a single compliment to my remembrance from wearing Eros, the original, the Eau de Toilette or whatever. I haven't received a compliment from wearing the original Eros fragrances. However, I have received a lot of compliments while wearing Eros Flame. This one seems to be a compliment magnet for me. Now, granted, I have not worn Eros as much as I've worn Eros Flame, but I just have to point that out. In my experiences, if I was to wear these fragrances both 10 times each, I feel like I would get more compliments wearing Eros Flame than I would have gotten wearing Eros. But your experience could be different, so I'm not going to rate this one. I'm just going to give it a tie. So guys, this category is technically subjective, but in my experience, the winner is going to have to be Eros Flame. So in the overall battle of Eros versus Eros Flame, I'm going to pick Eros Flame 100 times before I ever wear Eros. And the main reason being is because Eros does not smell good on my skin. It smells overly sour and it just doesn't smell good. I've smelled it on a couple of other people and it smells much better on them than it smells on me. So guys, it does suck, but Eros Flame is the more unique fragrance anyway, and you guys know I love citrus. Citrus is my favorite type of fresh fragrance smell over everything else. Plus, I do like the smoothness that this one has to offer above the rest. So for that reason, guys, Eros Flame is the winner of this whole thing. But Eros is not a bad fragrance. I do want to say that. Without Eros, I wouldn't have Eros Flame, so I do have to thank Eros for being the original. So guys, that's my review of Eros versus Eros Flame. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I'm so close to hitting 400 subscribers, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Now, if you want to see the detailed reviews of both of these fragrances, I will leave them on these sides right here. Go ahead and watch those videos, and I will see you guys in the next one.